Happy Tuesday and welcome to the Wolff Den presented by Win Again Academy. Mark Moyer doing some great things with his networking and informational events. Got a great one tomorrow at 4 p.m. Got Brandon Steiner of Steiner Sports with special guest Willie Randolph of the Yankees. So check out winagainacademy.com for information. That's tomorrow. I'm Matt Wolff, founder and CEO of Ticket Time Machine. Today's guest on the Wolff Den is Michelina Mandarano. That's a mouthful. Welcome to the Wolff Den. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, excited to hear more about the company and what you're doing in the music world. But for those who don't know who you are, give us a little bit of an introduction.
Sure. So as you mentioned, I'm Michelina Mandarano. Quick background about me. I actually used to work in finance. So I worked at Goldman Sachs for 10 years where I was a portfolio manager. And while I loved working there and I loved the people that I work with, music was just always a passion of mine. And so when this idea came about for Limelight, it was one that I truly supported and that I wanted to move forward with. And, we were really looking to revolutionize the music industry with the way users consume music. And so fast forward 4 years later, and we were able to bring you Limelight that we just launched about 8 months ago.
Oh, congrats on that. It's launching period is exciting times, but also brings about a lot of anxiety. This is, as you were telling me before, a family affair. So, talk a little bit more about that and what that means to you.
Sure. So actually, as we mentioned, we have 4 founders. It's me, my brother, my sister, and a close family friend who may as well be my brother. And we really just all have deep roots in music and a love for it. And so I guess I'll kind of answer it in 3 ways. But my sister, when she was living in California, she ran the largest and longest running artist collective in LA. And what she saw was so many amazing, talented artists, but she saw that they were struggling on the business side. And on the flip side, me and my close friend, RJ, we were always kind of sitting down and really trying to brainstorm and come up with ideas to be within the music industry. And so it actually was my brother who was the brainchild behind the idea and brought us all together, and it really kind of formed what we are today. And with Limelight, we are the best new free video live streaming platform that is completely dedicated to live music. So our mission was to really utilize technology and social media to give the power back to the artist and allow them to have a true community of fans while gamifying the experience for music lovers and making it easier than ever to find live music in person or if it's live streamed to your home. Now, as I mentioned, we have a focus on music. So because of this, we also solve a number of problems that artists and venues run into, whether it's from monetization and promotion, connecting with fans, owning the rights to their performance, and more. It's super simple in terms of how to use the app, but we are complex in nature. We do have performances every single night, so I definitely recommend to go and download Limelight right now. It's available in the Apple App Store, and stay tuned because we will be releasing the website and Android as well.
So right now, just available on the app?
Just available right now on the iOS App Store. That's correct.
So it's like Clubhouse. You're doing like Clubhouse, right? iOS first, get them in, and then we launch it out to Android. Are you on Clubhouse?
I am on Clubhouse, actually. I do love it, and there are a lot of great ideas that for future we are also looking to kind of incorporate with it. But Clubhouse has really been a phenomenal avenue as well, just in terms of bringing artists on board and letting people know about this, because we haven't even gone hard on marketing. It's all just been total organic growth, which has really been a beautiful thing to see this like creative community that we've cultivated within Limelight, and to know that it's just kind of grown again organically through word of mouth has really been a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I have organic is the way I go. I'm a big fan of organic. Funny story, I got an email today in the headline. It said, we are humans at XYZ, and then it was an automated email, and I'm like, it said something about organic, and I'm like, I don't think you guys know what that means. I'll be writing an article on the word organic and what it truly means, and it's fine if you're not organic, right? There's a lot. Organic isn't the only way to do it, and some people don't have the time to wait. I think it's great what you're doing, partly because, similar to me, it kind of allows you to figure it all out as you're going. And so, because we don't know everything, we're new, it's new to the market, you're still getting information. And so that allows you to, there's no rush for it. If you have the product, people are going to want to grow along with you when they see value in it. So I do like that. And Clubhouse, great, a ton of artists and musicians on that app. I mean, I don't know if it's just because that's kind of the thing I'm in, but it seems dominated by artists and musicians, which is great to hear. Have you heard a concert on Clubhouse? I mean, is that kind of similar to what you guys are doing? If you have an app, you can just hear a concert without video. Is that anything that's out there or that you guys are looking into?
Yeah. So right now, when it came to Limelight, we really did want to focus on the video live streaming aspect of it, because for us, I guess you can say the magic that inspires Limelight really comes from a place of connection, a connection to the music, a connection to the artist, a connection to each other, but a connection to the experience. And so we wanted to focus on video live streaming because you can actually feel the energy and feel the music and feel like you're part of that show. And that's what we wanted to bring to our users. So at the moment, it's all video, but who knows what the future may hold if we did want to incorporate some audio.
Does it have to be live? I mean, I know we use the word live stream, and I get very disappointed by live streams that aren't live. I understand it's a term, but is there any recorded material on there? Is this stuff archived?
So to that question, it is archived where all live streams, so everything is live, right? We do have the ability for artists to do some recording where a lot of times it could just be if they want to drop, like, let's say, exclusive content. They do have that option to record, but everything is taken through Limelight, and everything, again, you can have the live stream aspect of it, but every single video will be available for a replay. So once your live stream is completed, it will automatically upload to that artist's profile, in which case you can then go to their profile and see kind of their unique portfolio of all their live performances. And
this is free for me to watch?
So the app itself is free to download. Right now, all live streams are free. I personally don't buy apps, so I wouldn't launch one that I myself would have to buy. That does not exclude that we will have like pro settings that that could enhance or provide other options. But yeah, all live streams are free. So if you download the app, you can tune in and you'll be able to watch any live stream show for free. With that said, we do provide 2 revenue streams for artists. And so once a video is completed, as we mentioned, it gets uploaded to their profile, and an artist can actually decide whether or not they want that video to be free and public for everyone or fan club only. And so if it is fan club only and you are not subscribed to that user, you will not be able to watch that video.
But initially, there's no opportunity for them to charge. So they're doing a free show. If you can make it, if you see it live, great. If not, now you have a chance possibly to watch it afterwards.
Exactly. And we are looking down the line to perhaps do like a pay-per-view where people would need to pay in advance. But at the moment, everything is free for you to view the live stream.
And who are you targeting? I mean, obviously, look, we go, I'm the same way. We want everyone, right? There's no one who I wouldn't want to work with. Well, there's plenty of people I don't want to work with, but there's no level that I wouldn't want to work with. Where's your sweet spot with regards to an artist? Is there a certain, popularity, following? Have you figured that out yet? Or are you still, obviously you go after everyone, but what have you found as you're out there trying to make this happen?
That's a great question. I would say that our app itself and the way that we're built, we lend itself to both emerging and established artists just based on the different features and the quality that we have. But I will say that our bread and butter is definitely have been more like the underground scene, independent artists, kind of like the up and coming and emerging. That's kind of really where we've seen to, again, kind of cultivate this creative and collaborative community. And so that's the thing that is so special about our platform is that, again, we are one of the very few streaming platforms that actually prioritizes artists, and we offer better payouts and strategies to allow independent artists to live sustainably. And so that's really been our main objective. With that said, we have gained a lot of traction, I would say, from different labels. And we do have like some other, I would say more well-known names on there or upcoming concerts that we're like looking to promote in the future. but they're on the platform because they believe in the mission and they believe in the fact that we are building this to support artists and to support the up and coming artists and make it easier than ever for fans to discover their new favorite artists. And we built in, I would say, with Limelight, we're one of the very few platforms as well that's built for this hybrid model, because we had this idea 4 years ago. So we were actually anticipating this to be at live events. And so now that the world is slowly starting to open back up, a lot of our features come into play with this hybrid model.
How does this compare to something like Patreon or Crowdcast?
I would say, so for those two, I would say Patreon, it's maybe similar from a standpoint in terms of the fan club subscription. But I would say what really separates us out, there are so many streaming platforms out there, right? You have Twitch, you have YouTube, Facebook Live, Instagram, all these awesome platforms, but they're overly saturated. They have everything from gaming, sports, news, cat videos, dog videos. Don't get me wrong, I love all those videos, but there is no home for the artist. There's no specific dedicated place that users can go to where they know what you're getting when you come onto this platform. And we've actually had it described to us by several artists and fans where when they open up Limelight, they feel like they're hopping around Lower Manhattan. They feel like they're going from pianos to Rockwood Music Hall to the bitter end. And that's what we're looking to create, is you know what you're getting when you come onto this platform. And that's a plethora of all these different amazing, talented artists from all different genres. And you could be seeing someone performing live from their home in their basement, or actually like at a large venue. So we kind of hit all aspects of that space.
We got a hello from Corey. Corey is a friend of the program, maybe the biggest music lover that I know.
Nice,
He's
Corey.
got an organization called Corey's Crew, KOREY, and Corey, check out limelightmusic.live, or the app Limelight Music. You'll love it. There's all kinds of music. He's itching for music to come back, same as I am. Yeah. I got to tell you, I mean, music is really, I wouldn't say it's my life, but it's up there. It's one of the things I love the most, maybe even more than sports. It's hard to say. I had to give up one, but I found that there wasn't a lot of material worth watching or paying for, mostly paying for, over the past year with live streams, and there's some reasons why. A lot of it's recorded. You know, what was some of the what are some things that you saw out there that you really liked, material wise?
In terms of on the platform, or just
no, just say anywhere. I mean, we don't have to name the platform. You can just say, hey, you know, I saw Justin Bieber perform a live stream, or.
Yeah, so when I was actually in last year, unfortunately, my husband's father passed away. So we actually had to go to Ireland. And I was in Ireland for about a month and a half. And this was actually right before we did our own concert series. But I did say that I love Citizen Cope. Always been a huge fan of his. And he was performing on Veeps. So love that platform. I think it's great. But again, it kind of lends itself to, you know, it's a website. It doesn't have that social media aspect kind of like built into it. You're just kind of watching the live stream. Whereas with our platform, we really try to incorporate it. So we have the live chat. We have it where the users can engage with them. But I would say, you know, again, it just lends itself to the fact that there's it's proof of concept, and the fact that this exists, and the fact that people want to feel connected to music. And I think that, you know, we really kind of solve all the different issues that I saw other platforms were maybe lacking, and that we wanted to incorporate in ours. And talking to artists, you know, we worked with over 200 artists during our beta to ensure that we were kind of covering all these different aspects and issues that they ran into.
Well, if Joel is listening, I sent him an email yesterday. Joel Madden of Veeps, we would love to have you on the show. So check your email and shoot me back a message. I always got to put this stuff out in the universe. Since you mentioned Veeps, what's your music?
My music. Oh man. So I have an eclectic taste. I love everything, but I grew up on classic rock. I actually grew up to my uncle performing, so I grew up backstage to him. I I think we may have talked about this, but the band, my uncle was Levon Helm. And so I think his music is what really inspired me. But I would say lately, some of the best concerts too that I've been to, Guns N' Roses, Rush, David Gilmour. Those were some of the top three I would say that I've seen in recent years, and they were phenomenal. Actually, I think Guns N' Roses, I'm supposed to be seeing again in August, and I had tickets to Roger Waters, but they actually just postponed it a whole nother year, so they won't be performing until 2022.
Yeah, it's you're down in the Keys, right? Have you been to the amphitheater yet? Because they've had some shows.
I have not had a chance to, but I do know that the Allman's Best Brothers are going to be performing there. I think it's all the sons of the Allman Brothers. And so I actually do have a potential upcoming meeting with the woman who books all of the artists for the amphitheater. So looking to get Limelight live streaming all of these shows. So definitely stay tuned.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Do you target artists? I mean, do you get to be like, hey, we think this person might be the up and comer, and we reach out? What's your role with the company? And I guess talk about everyone else's role. Like, how's the company built?
Sure. So I would say with any startup, right now there are only 4 of us. So with any startup, we wear several different hats. But my kind of sweet spot, I would say, is more with the operations, making sure everything is running smoothly, keeping everything on track. I'm also really helping out specifically with the development. So my hands are kind of involved with everything. I obviously have a background in finance, so I help out with the financial model, with our pitch deck. So we're all kind of all hands on deck at the moment.
Okay, cool.
But I would say to your other question, sorry to interrupt.
No.
But we are also, so I'm constantly on the phone all day, whether it's with onboarding artists, with managers, with labels, like with charities, like all different organizations, just helping them, one, raise awareness about Limelight and letting them know that we're here, and then striking up partnerships. So we actually have an upcoming performance on May 20th, so next week, where we are doing a fundraiser for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and we're going to be having 7 artists that are performing, so definitely tune in and donate.
Great. And where do they find that information? I know we have some stuff, and we'll always share at the end, but is that at the website? Is that on social media?
Sure. So great point. So right now, our website, we are in the process of updating that because it's going to have all the same functionalities as the app. So that's a work in progress. But I would say right now, to stay up to date, our Instagram really keeps you posted of a lot of our upcoming performances. If you do sign up for the app, we do have a weekly newsletter that gets sent out to all of our users, letting them know of all the upcoming performances, when you can tune in. We also do a monthly recap of some of our favorite performances. When you open up the app itself, it automatically defaults to our featured page. So this may just be some artists that have performed recently that we want to help promote. But the idea with Limelight is that live music will be happening all the time, right? Artists
all day. I log on at 11 a.m. and there's live music.
That's what we are looking to get to. That is the goal, right? Because artists can come on, and we created a platform where artists can focus on their creativity and focus on their artistry, but still be able to have like almost like a one-stop shop that helps them build their career, kind of solving all these other problems that we mentioned, right? But so the idea is that artists will go live whenever they want, for as long as they want. But right now, we are helping to cultivate some of these performances. So if you know that you want to go live and you give us like a week notice in advance, we will help promote. And we'll help promote through our social media. We'll create social media ad mats. We have over 10,000 media contacts. So we also kind of lend itself to post-performance interviews, in which case we can write a press release to help promote that artist. So again, our main objective and priority is for the artist to help them share that music. And this is just free features that we offer because we care about them.
Oh, that's great. I think, most of the live streams are occurring at night right now. And there's a lot of competition now. You're going to find the same thing happening with the festivals. Like September is going to be nuts. There's so many festivals that are all put together and happening in the same week, and you got to start making choices that maybe you didn't have to before. Well, we talked a little bit about hybrids Where do you see that going?
I think that's a great question. There was actually recently 2 different studies that were released, and one of them was basically asking users or people whether or not once the industry will back up, if they're going to attend in person. And I think 79% of people in this one study was saying that they will attend in person. And then in this separate study, I think maybe by bands in town, it was saying that 75% of people would stay home. So it really lends itself to this hybrid model. And I mentioned before, Limelight was built with live shows in mind. So we have a bunch of features that lend itself to be able to find live music that's going on near you, find live music that's going on in another city or another state, and then other ways for you to stay connected, and then engagement that users can do when they're actually at the live event itself. So a bunch of different things that we have kind of built into the hybrid model. And I think that that is something that is so important. The music industry was shifting prior to COVID. And then obviously, like as in the middle of a pandemic, live streaming really became a crucial element necessary for success. And this is not anything that's going to slow down. I think it's going to work together as opposed to kind of one or the other.
Yeah, I think it's, look, I love music. I'll listen to music all the time. That doesn't mean I'll tune into any live stream. So there has to be things about who is playing, what the experience is like. So what are some of the things that I'm going to experience as a listener at one of the shows here?
Yeah. So I would say from maybe walking it back, right? So if you are new to Limelight and you want to discover new music, we offer several different ways for you to find that, right? So you can actually search by genre or search by things that like cater to more of like your music taste. We have, I mentioned before, like the maps feature, but in terms of you actually watching the live stream itself, again, you can filter by genre, but when you're actually watching it, we have the live chat feature. So you can engage with the artist, you can engage with the other users. There's actually, they call it the Limelight crew, but there's a lot of people who are continuously coming back and just checking out, and they kind of form a good group where some of them may have met in person, they become friends. And then, we also have top quality. So from a user perspective, we actually have it where a bunch of artists, let's say, go live on Limelight and then they're live on streaming on other platforms. And all those users end up converting over to Limelight because of the experience, because of the live chat feature, because of the quality. And it's very interactive, not to mention you get points for everything. If you like a comment, if you share it, if you're commenting on it, like you are getting so many points. So it's also this like gamifying aspect to it. I would say that that's one in terms of actually watching the live show. But now on the flip side, we have all these other features where, let's say an artist is performing live. So we have this upcoming show on the 20th. Artists can go in advance and create an event. So then as fans, I can actually look and find or go to their profile, click on their calendar, see all their upcoming shows, and then I can add it to my watch list. So I'll get notified anytime that there's an update to that event, anytime that they go live, so I never miss a show. We also have this notion for the people that are attending in person. So this is great because, as we mentioned, only artists and venues can go live. But when an artist creates an event, this allows a fan to check in and record videos from the live shows, and then that will be uploaded to their profile, but it will be also uploaded to this event page. And so this event page consolidates, it's a centralized location that consolidates every single stream from that one event. So you'll see the artist stream, the venue stream, and let's call it the 100 fan recordings. So you really get a good like 360 perspective of what's going on at that event. We also incorporate this notion of geofencing. So let's pretend we have all these festivals that are coming up. Bonnaroo, they're going live in September. So this is great where let's say you're on stage 1 and the artist is live. And so me as a fan, I walk over to stage 1 and I check in and I'm recording. Now, let's pretend that my friend is on stage 4 and they're seeing another artist that I wanted to see at that time, but I'm seeing this other one because it's conflicting. But then I can look at Limelight and I can see what's going on there. And I'm like, you know what, this looks awesome. I'm going to attend there. So as soon as I leave stage 1 and I walk over to stage 4, what will happen is that the app will check me out of stage 1 And as soon as I walk over to stage 4 in this case, it'll check me in. That way, any video that I'm recording is properly allocated to the correct artist. Again, creating this like unique portfolio of that entire event itself.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about geofencing, geo-blocking, more about like doing a tour, even though you're, hey, I'm going to Cleveland. I can't make it physically, but if I'm in Cleveland or in this area, that I can still watch the show. And then tomorrow when I'm in Chicago, then people who are in Chicago who can't make it can watch it too. Is that something you guys are looking into, have the ability to?
Yeah, we've definitely thought about that because we understand the notion of artists maybe not wanting other people to get like a sneak peek of like their set list or their performance. So that is something that we're looking into. But at the moment, it's really kind of based on just your initial kind of radius, right? So we have it where we wanted to incorporate it where you could be at a smaller venue or a larger venue, and for you to be able to adjust the geofence, allowing users to check in prior to the event and still be within that space. But again, in terms of state-wise, that's something that we are looking into and exploring, but more to come on that.
But they have to be, this festival or artist has to be on the platform, obviously.
Yes. Yes. So you have to be, exactly. So we do require that in order for you to watch the live stream or in order for you to go live, you have to be on the platform. We do not allow the ability at the moment for artists or venues to upload any content that was taken outside the platform. And that really goes back to one of the main objectives that we have with Limelight, and that's giving back the power to the artist. And so on other platforms, when artists go live, those platforms end up owning that recording, right? They own that music, they own that master recording, and we don't think that's right. So what we do is we automatically transfer back the master recording rights to that artist, so they own the rights to that. And so because of that, that's why we do lend itself where you do have to be on the app and everything has to be taken on that app. That way we have the legal rights to transfer the rights to the artist.
So the challenge is to get a roster, right? Because when you're first doing this and it's a community and you're trying to discover, there's limited people to discover as opposed to going somewhere else. I don't even know what, but to hear thousands, that whether it's Spotify to hear new music, one of those platforms. And obviously it's much different with Limelight because you're doing video, which is always, in my opinion, going to be much more appealing than just audio, which is why the Wolff Den is a video podcast. Not because anyone wants to look at my face, but it's just, I think it's better to have video. So how are you what's the struggle about getting the roster, and how long do you think it'll take before there's a roster that's big enough and diverse enough that is kind of where you want it? Obviously, you're always going to be going bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And to be honest, as I mentioned, I have deep roots in music, just, same with my sister, especially working in California. And so when we were testing this, I mentioned before, we worked with over 200 artists just during the beta test alone. We actually had the ability to test it on tour with Particle Kid and Flaming Lips. So that was pretty cool. So we're definitely getting the word out there. But in terms of building out the roster, again, it's just been total organic growth. We have over 2,000 users, and the artists that we have, it's been a combination of people finding us, a combination of word of mouth, and then just through our funnel, through our friends that we've known and kind of passing along through there. And it's been great. And again, we have different performances every single night along with our weekly artists. But definitely, we're always looking to build, and I think in the next few months we are going to start to go hard with marketing. And so I would definitely say that this has been more of a soft launch for us. I guess kind of similar to Clubhouse. We still have a bunch of rollouts, right? We're waiting for the second revenue stream to be released, which will be the tip jar. So we should be having that soon. And then we're doing a bunch of other updates, whether it's the Android, the website. So a bunch of upcoming things that we're excited about. And because of that, it's all been organic growth, and we haven't put in the money yet to actually go hard on marketing. And that's going to come in the next few months. So I'm excited to see where it's going to go, because again, just the feedback that we're getting from already the artists on our platform and everyone that I speak to, they're like, this is a no-brainer. Like, why would I not sign up for this? It's a free platform. I can promote myself. I can make money 2 different ways. You know, we have the best payouts. It's like, why would they not use our platform?
Yeah. No, I get that. Did the Flaming Lips perform in the Bubble? Was that the Bubble show that they tested with you?
No, it wasn't a Bubble show. This was before COVID hit. I would definitely say that with COVID though, there was a silver lining to it, right? So we had this idea, as I mentioned, 4 years ago. And initially when we were trying to talk to people about Limelight and how we're video live streaming, no one would understand that concept. Everything was audio. So they're like, what do you mean? Like, live streaming, they immediately thought audio. So it was a harder conversation for us to have with people. And then once COVID hit, I would say that really kind of lit a fire under us from 2 different aspects. It lit a fire under us because, obviously people more than ever were social distancing, they were quarantining, and mental health was at risk. And so music literally has the ability to heal, right? Music can transform worlds. It can connect humanity. If you're having a bad day or you're going through something, music can make you feel better. And so staying connected through technology has really been a great way to help get through these times. And Limelight was something where we're like, we really need to get this out there because it can bring people together again with live music safely from your home and still make you feel like you're part of the show. So I would think we were able to get that out there, but because we rushed it, we still have all these other updates that are coming.
And the downside, and I agree, there's a lot of silver linings in COVID and helping companies, take a time machine, especially on the flip side, everyone and their mother started a live streaming platform. And it became more mainstream, which is great, because it validates what you guys are doing, but it adds more competition. But competition also gives you more ideas. I started to look into some things not related to Ticket Time Machine and said, oh, I like this, I don't like this. And so you can kind of make it your own, but also understand what's good from a user experience and maybe even an artist experience. So, it works both ways. And there's enough musicians and acts and events and venues. I know this for everyone. There's no one's going to corner the market in any of this, even the big boys who have done very well. But, there's enough for everyone, I would say.
I totally agree with that. And I think, like you said, like there's a lot of streaming platforms out there. But I think, again, what makes us unique are all the different things that we kind of lend itself to. But at the end of the day, it also comes down to our brand and our mission and our team, right? Because other people can have that idea, but you won't have that team behind it who actually truly believes in bringing this to the masses in a way that is helping and supporting artists. And so we're just excited to be out there. But again, when it comes to, our platform, we understand that artists are going to be maybe streaming on several different platforms. And so that's also part of the reason when we transfer back the master recording rights to them, they have the ability to then save down and export that footage. Now that footage is raw footage. So there's no watermark on there. There's nothing on there because we know that they're then going to take that footage and they own it, right? So they can do with it as they please. They can upload it on any social media platform that they want. They can edit it, do with it as they want. And we want that for them. We want them to create content, but being able to provide it on a platform that already gives them like great quality and then having them kind of, no watermark and having them share it, they're more supportive and more wanting to work with us because we're giving them that option and we're giving them the power back to them to make these decisions for themselves.
So you're saying do a show on Limelight, do a show on Veeps, do a show on Stage It. They could do all 3. It doesn't matter.
We don't have we're not going to say, no, you can't live stream on other platforms. Obviously, if we have a partnership with someone where we're the exclusive live streaming rights, I think that would be a little bit different. But no, I mean, from our standpoint, like if you want to live stream on our platform and then you want to take that footage and you want to upload it onto your YouTube profile, or you want to upload it, or, you know, you can upload that onto other platforms that allow you to upload that music, you can do that. And we want you to. We want you to be able to put out your music as much as you can. But at the end of the day, we want people obviously to be coming to Limelight because of all the other aspects that we provide, whether you are an artist, a venue, or a fan.
Yeah, I think that, you know, the live stream, people go, and, you know, Jared Reddick of Bowling for Soup is a big on stage. I mean, he was doing like 5 shows a week, and they know I can go to Stage It and see his stuff. So I think there's, you know, there's probably a lot of, I don't know if it's loyalty, it's just that's what they're at. So, hey, let's do all the shows here. When you're going out there, what percentage of artists are already doing this as opposed to people who aren't doing it, and you're saying, hey, come try this with us? Do you have an idea, just roughly?
That's a great question, because I would say you have this subset of artists who are live streaming. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. And when you show them Limelight and you show them what we're providing to them, they end up switching over to Limelight. We have these guys also where they might be doing on both. So Billy Gryzik, part of Big and Tall, he performs every Friday with his son, and he's on both Facebook and Limelight. But I would say on the flip side, I have a bunch of musician friends who they are running in these amazing circles, like where they'll be playing with Lady Gaga and all these like amazing musicians, but they're, you know, they're behind the scenes. I know a lot of them are not live streaming, and they weren't. And that's because they thought the platforms were too confusing. They wanted to kind of focus more on the music. And what's great is with talking with them and having them play with the platform, they're like, this is so straightforward. This is so easy. And because we offer great quality by just using the phone alone, we've actually seen like an uptick in a lot of those users who are not on social media at all, but are using the platform. I don't have the exact like stats, I guess, like between that. But I would say, you know, it's a pretty good split between people that have never live streamed before that are on our platform, and then users who kind of do it every day.
And what do you think the split's going to be between using the app on my phone, or, you know, going to a website, sitting? Obviously, I'm sitting at a computer with a, I don't know, 35-inch, 32. I don't know how big it is. It's a big screen. It's a better for watching than on my phone.
Absolutely. I think, you know, you kind of hit the nail on the head from the standpoint that, you know, right now we are iOS only. So obviously that limits us with a lot of our users. So I think once we have the website up and running, it'll really just like significantly increase, because a lot of people do prefer to watch it on their website. Or, you know, I know when I'm watching some of these shows, you know, we connect it to the Apple TV. So I'm watching this artist on like this awesome like television while I'm like commenting on my phone. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can really enjoy it. But I do think that the website will help not only increase the amount of users, but, you know, just people being more comfortable at home as opposed to just holding their phone.
Yeah. Is it a contract? Do you have to sign on for a year? You just do one show and that's it?
Well, again, it's not even like where, okay, so take Veeps, for example, right? Or some of these other platforms where it's a live concert, they're promoting it, they have a date set and like all this stuff. We, on one hand, can do that, right? We promote it. We have different concert series. We have different artists going live or different upcoming events. But again, we're also, I would say, like a cross between like Twitch and Instagram, because artists can just go live whenever they want. They don't have to give us a heads up. They don't have to let us know. They can just go on the platform, create an event, and go live. And so that's what I think also kind of separates us out, is because we want anything that's music related. We don't just need the live shows, although we love that. But what we found is that we want anything that's music related, where users can actually live stream themselves, whether they are talking about their creative process, if they have a new EP that was dropped. It might just be them in the studio messing around, rehearsal or band practice, or we do have a bunch of artists that are interviewing other artists on the platform. So really anything that's music related, we want and we welcome. So again, it's up to the artist in terms of how they want to use this platform. We give them total creative control. They can live stream whenever they want, for as long as they want, with no time limit. And if they want to promote it, you can reach out to us. We actually have on our Instagram, you can book now. So if you actually book through our Instagram there, that will lend itself where you're on our schedule, in which case we will help promote because we're aware that you're going to be going live.
And I just from a devil's advocate point of view, why is live streaming on yours just on a single time better than me live streaming on Instagram with my 200,000 followers? I get there's a lot of other stuff, but is that live stream aspect, what's the difference there?
Two things I'll mention with that. Quality, significantly better than Instagram and Facebook. I would say, well, actually, maybe I'll mention three things. Quality, we have the ability for you to make money. So we're going to be releasing the tip jar right now on Venmo, on Instagram or Facebook. A lot of times they're like, go to my Cash App, go to my Venmo. Here, fans can just tip you directly in stream. And then I'll say the third is over the summer, actually, Facebook and Instagram released or updated their terms and conditions where they no longer want live experiences. They want it to be more focused on family and friends. But the reason behind this, I think, was because they don't have licenses in place. So a lot of musicians found themselves, if they were doing covers, that their live streams were being taken down. Now, as I mentioned, we're here for the artists and we support the artists. So aside from transferring back the master recording rights to them, we have proper licenses in place with all major US rights organizations. So meaning covers are welcomed. So your music, it won't be taken down. You can play the covers that you want. And then again, like from our perspective, we're doing right by the artist that if they are doing a cover, they're properly getting paid through those organizations.
Okay, that's good. I didn't, I've seen some live streams on Instagram, and look, I mean, I think if you like an artist, you go where they go. You're not necessarily drawn to say, hey, they're playing on here, I'm not going to go see it. But to that effect, if there's a better experience, you'd be like, oh, I hope he does that. We have an artist that we support that's a sort of a partner, and he's got a weekly show, and it's a roller coaster with regards to quality. The sound is almost always good. The video, which to me, I don't care about the video as much as I do the sound. But it's interesting. It's just funny, and it's different for some people than others. Like the other day, like a few people couldn't even hear him, and I was like, "Well, how is that?" Well, that must have been. It wasn't a platform thing. It was probably that person's. Who knows?
Like a plug-in or something. Yeah.
Well, it could have been anything. Do you belong? Are you a patron or a part of any clubs for artists?
In terms of like what kind of clubs?
A community, a Patreon, or like fan clubs?
Am I personally? So I mean, from that perspective, on Limelight itself, I do subscribe to a bunch of artists, but no, I'm not personally on like subscribing to other artists on other platforms. Maybe I should. But again, I'm all for supporting them and will do so. So if you come onto our platform, I will join your fan club.
Yeah, there you go.
And we do offer, you kind of mentioned a great point as well, just going back to even that Instagram question. So if a user does have, let's call it their 200,000 users on Instagram, we do offer incentives for the artists. So as I mentioned, we have the best payouts across any platform, and this is always up for negotiation. So we can actually adjust this on a per user basis. So if we have an artist and you actually do have a large following on Instagram and you're going to go live on Limelight and you're bringing over your followers, you bring on followers, if you're streaming a lot, we can definitely put this where it's in more favor for the artist. So that's definitely like one thing that I would mention. And then two, when it comes to the sound. So sound, I agree. When it comes to sound and video, those are huge, right? Like you want to be able to enjoy it. You need to be able to hear it properly. Again, with with just using the phone alone, it's top quality, but we do provide the ability for users to connect to third parties. So if they do use, let's say, an iRig stream or TRRS cable, they can. We also are built for scale, and we are built for some of those major like productions. So let's pretend that we have Kenny Chesney. You mentioned him before. Let's say he's performing at the amphitheater, and we can actually have it where if there's a production crew and company that's already associated with it, they can actually overtake the stream on Limelight. So it's still live streamed through Limelight, but it's using their enhanced audio and video quality, creating that much more of a better, not only experience for the users, but again, the artist, when they go to export that video, it's quality, videos and sound that they have there. So definitely was a major thing for us. And that's one thing that we get a lot of feedback on as well, is just how crisp and clear some of our live streams are.
How do you consume music? I mean, I would say before the pandemic, I mean, how do you mostly consume? What's your music listening habits?
Spotify was a big one. I also the radio, YouTube, kind of all about. I also play, so I'm always just kind of, if I'm in the mood for hearing something, I might just pick up the guitar and trying to learn it myself. But I would say Spotify for sure is definitely the ones kind of prior to. But again, I was always more for live music. And so that's why I always wanted to do something within the live music space. But again, I wanted to be behind the scenes because, as I mentioned, especially in this role, I'm the COO, so I'm more operations. I like to be behind the scenes and build something from the ground up and really kind of see it come to fruition. And that's the thing that's beautiful with Limelight, that I'm just super excited to share and have this out with everyone.
Yeah. I have Spotify, but I'm a Amazon Music guy. I use it to listen on my phone. I listen to when I exercise. I like to put it on in the shower with the speaker.
Nice. Yeah, there you go.
Out by the pool, but I'm a live music guy myself too. So looking forward to.
What are you listening to? Who's on your playlist?
I love AJR. Big fan of AJR. I like Ava Max. She's got some great stuff. And country. I like any country that's got a fast beat to it. There's a new song by I think Miranda and Elle King is out. It's pretty good. But yeah, I like fast, like the new school country that's kind of pop country, maybe even there's a little rap, a rap hook in there somewhere. So it's but there, those are some of the interesting things about live music. A lot of people not singing, right? Not really any of the concerts that I go to, but you see them on TV or even on a live stream or in live. That's one of the things that bothers me. And then I'm curious about there's so many great collaborations out there in music, but if they're not on tour together, then it's either they got to sing the whole song or you got to have like a video. And they've done some cool stuff where you actually put the video up and you see her, him or her singing. People have gotten creative for that. I like shows. I'm not so much into the dancing. Like I don't need you to go up there and perform. I'd rather have to see you sing.
Just actually perform, yeah.
But someone like Weird Al Yankovic, I love his stuff that he does. Or he's a real entertainer. And I think musicians are entertainers too. But there's a difference between entertainment and just going out there and hearing some song. And I'm for all of it.
I'm totally with you on that. And, it's funny that you mentioned country because, so I went to school at Syracuse and country was huge at Syracuse. And I grew up on Long Island and country was not really my thing. So when I got to college, I was just not a country fan whatsoever. But it wasn't until I saw an artist perform live. And that's when I just was like, I love country. And then fast forward, I went to the Country Music Festival in upstate New York. I went there for the last 2 years and I love it because again, like when you see an artist perform live, you have such a deeper appreciation for their artistry than just hearing the audio. And so you might be at a country concert and hate country, but then you might end up loving it because you see the energy and their storytelling and just again, like the music behind it as opposed to just hearing it on the radio. So I love that. So I appreciate you sharing the country with it.
Yeah, my country, I didn't like country. And I actually went to University of Florida where country was big in the South. Yeah. I grew up in New Jersey and my friend liked country music a lot, but he liked the old school country, which I like okay if it's, again, the song has to have like a fast beat to it. And then there's some slower stuff that I like now that I know better. But 1 year, Tortuga Music Festival, 2 days on the beach, $99 for a wristband. And I went because of Sister Hazel and Michael Franti, both not country, although Sister Hazel has a country album. And I went from the start to the finish. I saw every minute of it. and I've seen every minute of every festival since. I think this is going to be their 8th year. It's great country music. It's just a great time live, and yeah, it's an interesting crowd. But there's a lot of interesting people at a lot of different. I mean, I go to Dave Matthews, an interesting crowd, and Jimmy Buffett is an interesting. So, I think that it does enhance your experience. The people that are around you, not even the people just the people that you're around. What's your first concert?
Sorry, I think it cut out for a second. What were you saying?
What's the first concert that you're going to see when you come back?
Well, I guess it depends because especially being down in Key West, there was a music festival. We talked about the Songwriters music festival that just happened this past week. The one before that, there was another one. So I'm kind of always seeing little concerts here and there. But right now I am slotted, I believe, to go to Guns N' Roses in August. So I'm going with one of my founders and actually one of my old managers that I used to work with. And so that's the thing that was great. Again, like working at Goldman, I truly loved everyone that I worked with. And one of my direct managers is a huge music buff. Like he will see, anyone and everything. We've seen the Motley Crue, we've seen everyone. He'll go and sit alone in like a Lady Gaga concert. And I'm like, what? Like, you don't even do you like her music? And he's like, he'll go to anything.
I'll go to anything too.
Yeah, I'm with you. I will go to anything as well. But no, I would say that one coming up in August is Guns N' Roses, which, man, I've seen them 3 times, and I mentioned this before, but they were phenomenal live. So good, and I was a huge, Axl Rose fan, and so just seeing them perform and Slash, it was awesome. So definitely looking forward to that, and then potentially looking into obviously attending a bunch of the other music festivals. But I'll have to say, no music festival for me will ever compare to the one that I went to in Firefly maybe like 6 years ago, because my friend works in the music industry, and the festival ended up giving her 2 artist passes.
Oh, wow.
And so we got them. And if you have an artist pass, that is the highest level access, right? Because you can actually be on stage during the performances. And so we have these artist passes, and I'm literally on stage next to like Imagine Dragons and like Dave Grohl. And I think at one point, there was apparently more people watching us in the audience in the actual performance because me and my friend were just going nuts. So that was an awesome experience. So if you can get artist passes, I highly recommend it because the experience was like no other.
I'd love to have it, just to have access to anywhere. It's do you have your pass?
No, do I have it? Yes, I do. See, Ticket Time Machine. I'm going to have to reach out to you on that. Yes.
Yeah, that's something that's a memory you'll want to keep. And Firefly actually just announced their lineup. Yeah, it's okay. Yes, I think they have some big names, but I think overall it's okay. There's some other festivals that I thought might have a stronger lineup, and it's very. People are going to complain about lineups no matter what. That's just the nature of music festivals. This year cut them some slack. They missed a year. The artist schedules, everything's bunched together. They made commitments, then things moved, and so I think maybe next year things will go back to normal. Is Limelight going to be at any festivals in from an exhibitor booth capacity?
Yeah, there's definitely things that we are looking into because, right now, like when it does come to some of these festivals, right, they're already being live streamed, right? Like Bonnaroo already has like a live stream that they share, but a lot of times those are the major, like the main stages, which really kind of lends itself to the smaller stages, right? And again, that's where we come in because we are trying to amplify and support and show the live streams of these emerging artists. And so we are looking into, we have a few connections that we're going to be discussing for Bonnaroo, but potentially even just setting up some vendors, like we said, getting the word out, some guerrilla marketing. What we do have planned in the future is definitely going to be actually setting up like a Limelight Lounge. So definitely ways that we are looking to incorporate within that like festival space.
And come down to Tortuga.
So when is that? When's that one?
Well, now it's at the end of the year. It used to be in April. This year I think it's in November, but it's usually a pretty good lineup. Kenny Chesney plays every other year. I don't think he's playing this year. I can't remember who they got, but it's a good lineup. So yeah, Tortuga is it's definitely a recommended festival. What's how important is it to have users and instead of artists, like the customer, right? Because you want to have a lot of people going to this, so you'll get more people to say, hey, this is a pretty big thing. How do you balance that?
Yeah, that's a great question, because it's one of those things. It's like the chicken or the egg type of thing. Like you want to have all these users, but you need to have the artists, and then to have the artists, like you want to have these users. So it's really, again, just like spreading the word and getting it out there. We actually are trending in Trinidad right now, which is hilarious. Yeah, because we have these DJs that go live every week, and they're from Trinidad, and so they have like all their friends and family on it. But I would say like right now it's pretty split, where it's about I would say like 60-40. I think, and I don't want to maybe misspeak, but it might be 60 fans, 40 artists. Maybe it's the other way around. I'll have to check. Yeah. But it definitely is something that we're kind of working on both aspects, right? And that's where also that like incentives comes, because we do again have artists that have like a large following, and so bringing on their following, which then inadvertently will make more money for that user. They'll be able to decrease, or I guess be able to make more of a profit. And then on the flip side, that will kind of lend itself to, again, bringing more users on the platform. And with all these different live shows that we have going on, we just need to keep notifying and letting people know that that we exist, but then also that we do have all these live shows. And so I think with the next couple of rollouts that we have, I think is when you'll really see Limelight taking off, because the tip jar will allow artists to make money immediately. And so really looking forward to that. But yeah, it's the chicken and the egg. We're getting all at the same time.
Yeah, you gotta have the attention, because when you have the artists, there's got to be people coming to see them that follow them. They can bring, but also new eyes. That's always what is important for them, is get new eyes and ears on their music. What's your Mount Rushmore of music? It could be either the four that you think are the greatest ever, or the four that are your favorite. Either one.
Wow. Okay. I would say I grew up listening to the Beatles. So I love the Beatles. I love everything about the Beatles. When I go to perform, like not perform, but when I go to play the guitar, that's who I'm playing. So I would say the Beatles. I have a soft spot in my heart for Modest Yahoo. Quick thing, but my dad passed away 2 years ago, and he was hit by a car and was in a coma for 8 days. But during those 8 days, One Day by Modest Yahoo was what really got me through everything. And it's such a special song. I'm sure you probably know it. But fast forward 2 months later, and Modest Yahoo is actually performing at the Paramount in Long Island. And I wanted to reach out to him and see if they would dedicate the song to my father, not knowing that that my sister and my now husband had reached out, and he actually ended up proposing on stage as Modest Yahoo did it was a cross between One Day and No Woman, No Cry. So it was a beautiful moment. So Modest Yahoo, so much love for you. Aaron Dugan, who performs with him. I love them. I appreciate them. Aaron Dugan, we're going to be getting you on the platform, but Modest Yahoo as well. So I would say the Beatles, Modest Yahoo, love Hendrix, love, and then I love some Billy Joel. The Long Island Girl comes out. I love Billy.
We have Kosha Dills, who's a Jewish rapper, on our show. He has collaborated with Modest Yahoo, so I'll have to send him. I don't know if I did send him the information on you guys or if I haven't, but you guys should definitely talk. Modest Yahoo, One Day, powerful song. I know I used it. There's some songs that I just like to listen to when I want like some inspiration, or just to feel sad almost. Like sad and I don't know, hopeful at the same time, or when you hear what's going on and you want to get some hope. Definitely Modest Yahoo. We're coming down to the end here. Just a couple more fire questions. Favorite venue and bucket list venue, or bucket list festival.
Favorite venue. That's a good one. Wow, that's a tough one. You know, what really comes to mind, actually, I don't think that they're open anymore, at least this location, but I loved City Winery in Manhattan because it was a very intimate setting. It allowed you to have drinks and you can get a little food, but like, again, it was a very intimate setting that you would have with the artist. I would also say on the flip side is going back to my uncle, he has the Midnight Rambles. So that was an amazing space that they would do there because the acoustics, the way that it was built, the barn, it's using this type of wood that really fosters and is great for the acoustics. So that is a phenomenal venue. Again, more of that intimate setting, and I guess that's what I like. But and then I would say, in terms of a theater that we'd want to have on there. I mean, I think just, even being able to partner with, let's just even say like Madison Square Garden or Barclays or some of those like more like well-named ones. That'd be great. But again, I'm loving more of like the intimate settings. Have you heard of Sofar Lounge or like Sofar?
No.
It's Sofar puts together, they help cultivate kind of across the states, all emerging artists, and they perform at like, at someone's house. So it's like an intimate, small setting that really has like maybe a few artists perform. And so I love what Sofar is doing. We actually have a bunch of those artists on our platform as well, but all about just creating an enjoyable space where people just feel the music.
Yeah. We'll get you out of here on this. We ask everyone the same question. I might already know your answer, but maybe not. You can pick one person to spend a day with, and they have to be living and you can't be related to them. Who's it going to be and what will you do? It doesn't have to be music. It could be anything, but.
Wow.
We're going to put this person on a list for you and we're going to try and make it happen.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what comes to mind. It's funny though, because I would say years ago, like maybe like 8 years ago, I always said that if Miley Cyrus and I met, that we would be best friends.
You might be a little different now.
Yeah, no, honestly, if I could hang out with anyone,
I thought maybe it would be Mattis Yahoo. Have you met him?
It would be, I did not get a chance to meet him, but I would choose Mattis Yahoo too. Honestly, who else comes to mind is Dave Grohl and Ziggy Marley. So I was backstage with them during Firefly, and that was a fun time. So I would definitely welcome that again.
Yeah, but if we pick one, it's going to be Mattis Yahoo.
Let's go Mattis Yahoo. Yeah, I love Mattis Yahoo.
What are you guys going to be doing? Obviously, you'll talk about music, listen to some music, but what is there a setting, an event?
I do follow him on Instagram. I know that he has a beautiful little baby now, and so I think just honestly being able to just be on the beach with him and really just be with him and his family and kind of get to know more like the one-on-one and more just kind of like just informal hang, nothing really crazy, but just talk about music. And when you see like just his music and again, his performance, like I loved his performance, like seeing him live. And it's not only just obviously my connection that I have with him in terms of like my father and now the proposal, but it's one of those things where when you hear him perform, like it's just uplifting, right? Like it raises your vibration. You just like feel so much better. I don't know if that's like the rabbi in him also. But yeah, I would definitely just love to be around him because I feel like having a conversation with him would just make me feel better.
Listen to Your Heart by DHT is the song for me with my dad. He was in a hospital, and I knew it was the end. And that song came on the radio. It was like the #1 song. And every time I'm driving, I would listen to it. So it's a song that I love to hear because, it's sad, but it brings a smile to your face. So it's good to have that connection and the story. Hopefully we'll be able to make this happen for you. I think you're in the top, of people that I could probably make it happen. At least I know some people.
I like it.
I know
Let's
some
do
people.
It now.
So
let's do it.
it's on the list. Tell everyone where they can find your stuff, how they can support.
Yes. Awesome. Let me show you. So if you go to the Apple App Store and you type in Limelight Music, you want to follow the green. Let's see if you can see this here. You want to follow the green there. So you can download on there. You can follow us on Instagram at limelightmusic.live. There you'll be able to download it as well. You'll be able to see upcoming live performances that we have. And you'll also be able to book now if you do want to actually schedule performance and be eligible for promotions. But Matt, I truly appreciate you having me on here and talk about Limelight. I love talking about Limelight and sharing the word. I would love to go to Tortuga with you. So maybe we can set that up in November, and who knows, maybe we'll be able to get some artist passes so we can be on stage with everyone.
I've already reached out to people. I just need people to return messages. Is that a thing people do now? They return emails and phone calls and messages. I think they might. Some people do. Anyway.
I mean, I'd like to think so. I actually met Justin Bieber a few years ago when we had, it was before you were able to download it. It was just only a beta on my phone. And I met with him and he loved the app. He thought it was dope. He gave me his email. He's like, hit me up. Like, I want to get involved. And then I sent him an email, and 2 days later, he ended up getting married. So that's why I think that he didn't respond to me.
That again, I had like one of the biggest bands in the world. I had a conversation with their management or agency or something, and I think they were interested in hearing more. I mailed them stuff and never heard back from them again. I mean, I mailed you something.
You're like, hello.
I put a proof together for them. I put like a proof for them and never got to hear back. Like I didn't understand like why. And I think I have an idea, but who knows? Anyway, bigger and better things on the horizon here. Looking forward to seeing Limelight grow, and looking forward to hearing more, and hopefully seeing you in the Keys or Tortuga or somewhere listening to some music. So
yes, man.
Don't forget to tune in today to this special episode of the Wolff Den at 8:30. We have a crossover episode with the Fan Experience TV guys and Playing the Field at. So we're going to have them on the Wolff Den at 8:30, and then immediately after I'm going to appear on their regularly scheduled show at 9. So check it out. Win Again Academy also tomorrow, 4 p.m. Brandon Steiner of Steiner Sports, Willie Randolph of the Yankees, special guest. WinAgainAcademy.com. Thank you very much. Great to see you. Great to talk to you, and we'll see you again.
Thank you.